Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to add support for using HTTP Client Factory in our controllers. So in our controllers, we will set a new parameter which is going to be of type IHttpClientFactory, and we set this HTTP Client Factory. In our startup in the server, we will have these services dot add HTTP client, video indexer, anonymous API client, and services add HTTP client, video indexer authorized API client. So now we are going to add in the constructor this HTTP client factory equals HTTP client factory is dot we set it as private. We are first going to test with the list videos, and instead of doing HTTP client like this, what we are going to do is HTTP client equals this HTTP client factory create client, and we set the actual string like that. I am going to move that to a method get um, yeah, structure method create authorize HTTP client. Then, okay, since we added a new parameter, our test project is going to fail. For test project, now we are going to do a couple of things. Um, we could just create an HTTP factory like this. And for creating the HTTP factory, we need to have a services instance where we will be able to get so we create the service collection, we add the HTTP clients to that service collection, um, and then we set that to a variable, and then when we need to pass it as parameter, we will pass this variable. But at the same time, we are actually moving to convert our test. So instead of testing our controllers directly, we are going to test our calls using the HTTP client. So basically, we are going to test the APIs or server API as if we were invoking it from our client pages using an HTTP client. In order to do that, we need to create a test server. So we'll have here defined the test server. We also have the services collection, and we implement the constructor for the class. In the constructor, we will move all of the code for creating the configuration builder, the add JSON file, the add user secrets, the configuration. We instantiate the server, and you see that to the server we are actually going to say use configuration. To the use configuration, we are going to set as parameter the configuration that we said here before, and we are going to use the use startup, and this is going to be the startup class which is defined in our server project, the one that we have in our Blazor server component application. And then we add the services, we add the HTTP client, we set the configuration for the authorized client, which needs to have the subscription key, and we add this HTTP client factory. And when we compile this, we can test it. We see that we receive here in the controller, we are receiving the storing this as a private variable, And then in the release videos, we already modified the client, and the create authorized HTTP client is actually creating the client based on the HTTP factory. So let's test if all of that is working. Hit the block. We wait for test to load. So all of this I know is working, so we can continue. And you see that over here, well, this test server we can actually create it in other tests, actually in the test setup, I believe, or probably we can also set it in the constructor. And now you see that now we are going to do our test like this server client, which is an instance that we create in here. This is the HTTP client, which is going to represent our server, our hosted server. So we add the rules as if we were invoking the API video indexer, list videos. You see that it actually goes to the controller. This is all added by the dependency injection. And then you see that we go to the list videos, it's invoking it. Request URL. We create the authorized client. You see that the client it was created. We get the results. We actually got the results okay. We go back to our test. We do here, and you see that the result 0 now is going to have our items. So for this test, we can actually remove all of this. It's going to be result. This one I am going to move it to the constructor. Yes, after everything. Server client. I am going to create a variable there. I'm going to set all of this to private 2. And then in the list videos, we are going to do this server client, yeah. And in here, it's not new. Result. So that should make things easier. Then for all of this, what we are going to do is we are going to change this, and we know that is get account access token. So get videos access token, get video access token async. So this is actually just going to be string async. We take out this. For this one, we need to list videos. Yeah, video list is basically going to be results. The first video is going to be results.first or in position 0, doesn't really matter. And this is not going to be actually list videos result, change it, list videos result. Okay, and now this result is going to get this is going to be a string. Get a string async with indexer get video access token async video ID equals something, and we need to pass values. So we add this, we add interpolation, first video dot ID, and I forgot, I believe the name for that was, the parameter was allow edit. Get video access token async. Let's see, get video access token async allow edit. So allow edit equals did I have it with true? Let's see, no, I had it with false. Assert is not null. Result. So this one, let's debug our tests and let's verify if they are working okay. So we got the result in here. Yeah, this is not null. We got the access token by using this test server. So yeah, it goes to our controller. It's going to list videos. We go to the test list these videos async. So let's see if it actually got something. Yeah, the result is not null. Yeah, it invoked that using the test server. Now this one failed for something. Let's click on that and see why it failed. So it says that it failed because it didn't find something. Okay. Get video access token async. That's because I added the async, and that's not the name of the endpoint. So debug that test, and this one should actually work now. Check the result. The result in this case is empty because I believe we were not getting um, a generated token when we were setting the allow edit to false. Let's wait for that to build. Let's debug. And I believe we should now get the token. Yeah, so that test it's going to pass. Okay, so now the rest will be to change the other methods so they are not using the controller instances anymore, but um, just the calls using the HTTP client or the test server in this case. So I'll leave the video here and I'll modify this, and the code is going to be available in the repository. Remember, you will be able to see it in here in this URL, and you will have all of the code in there. Thank you very much and have a great day.